My name is Michael, and I'll never forget the day I came home early. A day that started like any other but ended changing everything I thought I knew about my family. I work long hours as a construction supervisor, often getting home after sunset. That particular Friday though, the site closed early because of incoming rain, so I decided to surprise my wife Laura and our 12-year-old son Ethan by coming home before dinner. I imagined Ethan rushing to the door, his usual grin lighting up his face as he yelled, "Dad's home!" But when I reached our house, something immediately felt wrong. The front porch light was off, strange since Laura always turned it on before dusk. I pulled out my key, slid it into the lock and twisted. It didn't budge. I frowned and tried again. Nothing. My key, the same key I'd used for 10 years, didn't fit. For a moment I thought maybe the lock had jammed or been changed for security reasons. Still, unease prickled at the back of my neck. I called out, "Laura? Ethan? It's me." My voice echoed in the quiet street. No answer. I knocked, then pounded harder. Finally I walked around to the back door, locked tight. My pulse quickened. Had someone broken in? Or had something happened? My first instinct was to call Laura, but when I did, the call went straight to voicemail. Then I tried Ethan's phone, also off. I stood there in the cold drizzle, feeling an odd mix of confusion and dread. I decided to check with our neighbor Mrs. Cooper, an elderly woman who'd known us for years. When she opened her door, her expression shifted instantly from surprise to concern. "Michael? Oh, you're home early." "Yeah," I said cautiously. "Did something happen? My key doesn't work, and no one's answering inside." Her eyes darted toward the house. "You didn't know?" A heavy pause filled the air. "Know what?" I asked. She hesitated, then sighed softly. "Laura's been having some visitors. A man. I didn't want to interfere, but last week I saw movers there. Looked like they were bringing in new furniture. I thought you'd already moved out." The world seemed to tilt. "Moved out?" I repeated, my voice barely a whisper. Without another word I walked back across the lawn, the rain now falling harder. Through the front window I could barely make out faint movement, shadows maybe. I called again, louder this time. "Laura!" The door finally opened a crack, and Laura stood there, pale and startled. "Michael, what are you doing here?" she stammered. "I live here," I said quietly. Or at least I thought I did. Her eyes filled with tears, but her lips pressed into a tight line. "I was going to tell you," she said. "Ethan's at my sister's." I changed the locks because I needed space. Things weren't working and I held up a hand, stopping her. My heart was pounding too hard for words. "You changed the locks without telling me?" "I thought it would be easier," she whispered. For a long moment neither of us spoke. The rain hit the porch roof like a drumbeat, each drop sounding louder than the last. I finally said, "You should have told me the truth before locking me out of my own home." Then I turned and walked away. I didn't go far, just to my truck. I sat there, hands gripping the steering wheel, trying to breathe. My entire world felt like it had shifted in a matter of minutes. But through the storm of anger and betrayal, one thought stayed clear. I had to protect Ethan from the fallout. Over the next weeks, lawyers got involved. I found a small apartment nearby so I could see my son regularly. Laura and I kept things civil for Ethan's sake, but the marriage was over. Still, in that wreckage, something unexpected happened. Ethan began to open up more to me. He told me about his school, his worries, and one day he simply said, "I'm glad you're still here, Dad." That moment made all the pain worth enduring. It's been a year since that rainy evening. My new apartment feels like home now, not because it's fancy or big, but because every laugh, every late-night talk with my son fills it with life. Sometimes I still think about that key, the one that no longer fits the lock I once called home. It reminds me that even when doors close in your face, you can still find your way to the people and places that truly matter.